All right, welcome everyone. I'm Dave Hamilton, Senior Director of Retail Industry Strategy at Blue Yonder. And we are proud to present this thought leadership session on the intelligent store. We're looking forward to a very interesting conversation with Andy Lodato, who is the Chief Operating Officer at The Vitamin Shoppe, and Robin Lewis, CEO and founder of The Robin Report. Some quick background information. Vitamin Shoppe has over 700 stores and carries products from about 700 national brands, in addition to its own private brand products. Andy is the author of Fostering Innovation, How to Build an Amazing IT Team. Andy started his career as a computer programmer and now leads operations across digital commerce, information technology, enterprise portfolio management, supply chain, strategic sourcing, quality, and commercialization.
So thanks for the introduction, Dave. Andy, quite a track record here. You got a lot to manage there. And by the way, it's great to see you, and even greater to be able to talk to you about, some of the initiatives that are going on at the Vitamin Shoppe.
Yeah, so Robin, Dave, thanks for having me. Good to be with you guys as well. The Vitamin Shoppe, in addition to our 700 retail stores and vitaminshoppe.com, we're a global omni-channel retailer. And we say omni-channel, we mean every sense of the word, and we'll get into more of those details today. Retail is a constantly evolving industry, and I'm excited to talk about some of the things we're doing and the things we're planning.
Yeah, so Andy, since we're talking about the smart store here and the smart people who run it, I think it's fair to ask you about the major changes that you see taking place in retail, from a sky-high view, so to speak. So first, how do you define what business you are in?
Yeah, so we're in the health and wellness business. We're helping people become their best selves and lead their best life through education, innovation, and products.
And is there a trendy or fashion component to your business? Like what's hot and what's not?
There is. There's so much always evolving around health and wellness. I think we all know in our lives we were told fat was bad, fat was good. But people can really improve their lives with the right diet, exercise, and supplements where it makes sense. And so making sure that we are in the forefront of understanding what's out there, what products are available. That's who we are. And we have a whole team of merchants that do that. There's also, on the fun side, there are trendy products that are driven by influencers. These could be trainers, bodybuilders, people that have a following, and they'll either create their own products or they'll partner with the product. And we make sure that we're the first to market with these products. Another big trend you'll see in our industry, and you'll even see it in consumer products, is a lot of fun with nostalgia. There's products that are, flavored. Some of the flavors we had as kids, we sell products that are flavored with Oreos and Fruity Pebbles. And we even have a partnership with Marvel. So we have Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman and the Joker and special feat product flavors with those superheroes. And what better thing to have with a pre-workout or a protein powder or a creatine than a superhero that you look up to?
That's a good example. Yeah, it sounds pretty much like you're obviously in the specialty retail category, but some of the same principles apply. So to deliver what consumers want, where, when, and how do you use technology to manage all of these processes?
Yeah, so I like what you said, right? It's what they want, where they want it, when they want it, how they want it. And so the very best customers of the Vitamin Shoppe shop us multiple channels. So for example, we're talking about stores, and if you really want to go in and you've got a need and you want to talk to somebody about it, we're the place for you. So you come in the store, and we call our store employees health enthusiasts because that's what they are. That's what we all are, right? We're enthusiastic about health. And in many cases, we've hired people that already were health enthusiasts. And if they weren't, we spent a lot of time, energy, training, and coaching them. And so our store is a great place to get an education and to get knowledge and to discuss your needs. Now, say you go to the store, have this big conversation, figure out something you want to start taking, we can then put it on a subscription. So it's convenience. You don't, I take a multivitamin, there's 30 in the bottle. I take it once a day. So it just comes, like clockwork every 30 days. So I signed up for this subscription program. We have an app. So if you like to shop on your phone, we have a full featured app on in the App Store and Android, and that's another way to serve our customers. We ship direct. Of course, we run vitaminshop.com and we ship, directly to customers' homes. But if you don't want to wait, if that takes, 1, 2, or 3 days, then we have a partnership with Instacart. You can get product delivered to your home in 2 hours. So you can go on their website. And we've taken our show on the road. So to be back to what you said, Robin, about where the customers are, if our customers want to shop on a marketplace, Amazon, Google, Walmart, Target, we have our products, a selection of products for sale on these marketplaces. So it really is, when you say omni, it's really comprehensive.
Yeah.
And it really varies about what you need at that moment.
Yeah, this, all this stuff we're talking about certainly reflects on the fact that the consumer today has never had more power than all the consumer generations before them. And so we've got all these things going on, which you guys are doing very well at. So what about, the final stage of the customer journey, the so-called checkout? What tech innovations are you looking at there, Andy?
Yeah, I've read study after study. Even if someone's spending a lot of time in the store browsing, picking up items, when you're ready to go, you're ready to go. It's no different than when you're sitting at a restaurant, they don't bring the bill.
Yep.
And so a quick, efficient checkout is really key to retail. And so what we've done is we've rolled out mobile point of sale to all of our retail stores. So instead of having a checkout counter, we now can check you out right on iPad. Anywhere you want in the store. So we're very excited about that. We just got it into every store a few weeks ago, and now we're evolving it. Looking to the future, we're looking at technology where the customer could actually check out on their own device. Or maybe some of this just walk out technology. Maybe you run in, grab a drink, and run out the door, and the computer will know who you are somehow in charge. So we've got mobile in all of our stores, and we're looking at some of these even more convenient and frictionless options.
Yeah, Amazon Go has that ability to, pop in the store and take something off the shelf and leave without going through a checkout line. I don't know how well they're doing with that, but it certainly seems like the future. I think a lot of people probably, they're so used to going into stores and then going through a checkout that maybe it takes time for them to understand how great it is to come in and leave with something without going through that painful process. Anyway, so how do you ensure that all of this technology is working, throughout your ecosystem without any glitches? Or if there are glitches, what happens? And what type of workforce do you need to manage and facilitate all of this?
One of the most important things now is the network. And so, I was actually at a Chick-fil-A and the computer stopped working. And the employees didn't know what to do. They actually just started giving away free food because they couldn't sell you a chicken sandwich without a computer. And I think we're all old enough to remember you could buy a chicken sandwich with cash, but the customers don't have cash. The employees don't know how to do math, and so it used to be that you could run a complete retail store if you weren't connected to the network, but not anymore. We're looking at the customer, we're applying loyalty points, we're applying real-time discounts. Sometimes the discounts or promotions are specific to that customer. And so sometimes it's not the most exciting thing, and hopefully no one really knows about it, but having a robust, reliable, redundant network that's connected to the cloud, to every store, it's essential. You can't do retail without it these days. So that's what it all starts with, is that backbone. And then making it easy. I mean, so far we've already talked about a lot of tricky things, but we want to hide all that. We want this to be simple, seamless. I come in, whether I'm checking out or by myself or walking out or traditional, just needs to be quick, easy, efficient, and accurate. And so no matter what we're designing and what new capabilities we're adding, we always need to go back to how is this sophistication going to be made easier, not more complicated. And I want to go back because when we talk about checkout, we're thinking about paying. So how am I paying, right? Am I using a credit card? Is it on my wallet? Is it Apple Pay, mobile? There's buy now, pay later, but there's other things that happen at a checkout. It's got to be, put in a bag. You may be paying with cash or using a coupon. So where do all those things go? Or gift cards or, so you can't just have an employee walking around with all this stuff, hooked to their belt or their apron. So you got to think about beyond the technology, what's the process and how does that also make sense?
Yep. All those things you're mentioning are, very important. So how do you view innovation and, in your business, and how does it play out for you guys?
Yeah. So for us, innovation is one of the pillars that we hang our hats on. And for us, number one means about product innovation. It's about, we talked about earlier, identifying trends, ingredients, forms. So innovation may be that the product's liposomal, which is it's in fat, so it's absorbed by the body. So scientific and medical nutrition innovation is part of what we do. I'm putting Superman on the bottle and making it a pretty label. That's innovation too, right? That's not science. Now it's the marketers, but boy, that can drive business because it's exciting. And then taking advantage of all the innovations in technology. We already talked about some futuristic things that we don't have yet. And then even in the back of the house, how can we innovate to be more efficient so that we buy the right products, we're in stock? Because now the store is not just a store, it's also a fulfillment center. We ship from our stores to customers, people shop online and pick it up in the store. And so we need to have the exact right inventory in the store for all of these activities without, being over inventory and spending too much money. So there's a lot of innovation on algorithms and forecasting and understanding just in time and what needs to be at the store and in the supply chain. So call that back of the house innovation.
Yeah.
And then there's innovation on, we're doing this on Zoom. In the past, we'd all have to get together in person. You and I talked about that when we used to do these. And so letting our regional and regional vice presidents maybe use some, of course, there's no substitute from going in person, but sometimes using video at corporate, being able to communicate out to our employees. We can now hold a live meeting with every single store and our CEO on video. I mean, that used to be something that you couldn't do. Not that long
amazing.
ago.
Amazing. Yeah. I think.
But you also need that. You need the technology in the store. You need the technology in the back office, and you need that network that can handle, all that volume of data for a live video.
Yeah. There's a lot of new technology that's across all of retailing, and inventory optimization for one and that's what you've been talking about a little bit, is a big deal today. Efficiency, more efficiency and effectiveness. But so, you guys have gone a long way in this area of technology. What advice would you give to other retailers, not necessarily your competitors, but to kind of bring them up to high tech speed, if you will?
Retailers have a unique advantage, the fact that you have lots of stores. So we have 700 stores. It's pretty common for retailers to have hundreds of stores or even thousands of stores when you get into some of these bigger companies. And my advice is always do something well in one before you do it in two. And so I've screwed up a lot in a single store, but I really haven't screwed up that much in 700 because you try it, you learn, you refine it. And if you go from one, then you can go to, say, 12 stores, like in a district. And whatever you're doing, learn from that, study it, evolve it, and really get whatever you're doing down and done well. So, and you can treat it like a science experiment with a control group and with a pilot group and learn from there. So that's my one advice. And in the digital world, we have a similar thing. We do a lot of A/B testing. So we can make a change to vitaminshop.com and just pick a number and say, we're only going to show this to 5% of our customers. And did it work? You know, not just functionally, but did it get the improvements that we planned? And so we can speculate, we can look at others, but the best thing to do is to change things, do that A/B testing, either in real life in the store or digitally, and then evolve from there. That way you're able to move more quickly because you're not taking huge risks. Or one guy I used to work with always said, you reduce the blast radius.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah. Yeah, there's another phrase for that. Test often and fail quickly. In other words, the idea is, you know, test, but you know, don't let the test go on too long, so you can turn around and do something about it. Anyway, so how do you protect your brand, and how does your own brand reputation and trust enhance your partners?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question. And we talk about quality as one of the 3 pillars. So
Yep.
look, we're selling products that people are ingesting, right? You're swallowing that pill. And so, you know, if I buy this shirt and it's got, you know, poor quality, maybe the buttons will fall off, I'm going to be frustrated, but it doesn't affect my health, right? So making sure that everything that we sell is of the highest quality. And for our private brands, which is 30% of our business,
Wow.
not only do we have strict standards, but we do testing, independent testing. We just go out of our way. We have a team of people we have a team that reports to me called Quality and Commercialization. And their full-time job is making sure that everything that's in the bottle is of high quality and matches the label. And we actually have our own testing facilities in our distribution center. So as we receive product in, we review everything about that product, the paperwork, we open it up. We even, if it's a protein drink, they'll even taste it to make sure that the taste matches the flavor profile. So we just take it really, really seriously, quality, because it's really so important to who we are and to our customers, for our customers.
Well, yeah, you know, you guys seem to have a handle on, you know, everything, all the old principles that have moved forward in retailing in general, but also you seem to have quickly picked up on everything new that's happening out there. And I, you know, just from my getting around and talking to a lot of different retailers, the consensus is that we're just in the beginning of this huge technology era. And who knows what you know, the geniuses are going to come up with next for retailers. But it seems like you guys are moving well in the right direction.
You know, I'm a student of retail, and I've looked back at history, and there's these markets in Rome. It's called Trajan's Market, like 300 AD. Yeah. There are these places around the Silk Route that are, you know, 2,000 years ago. You look at the Mall America in 1985, these places didn't really change that much in 2,000 years, right? Merchants brought their wares, they had like a booth or a stand or a store, and the customers came. They decide what they wanted, they paid for it and left. But since that time, since when I started in their career, we've had the internet, all that revolution. We've had mobile. We've had all of these things that have so dramatically changed. I mean, all of our lives, but retail has changed more in the last 50 years than it did in the previous 2000. And it's at the early days, as you just, you know, said. So it's been fun, but it's pretty, I think, surprising to people how much innovation has happened. And it's still like from anything from barcodes to RFID to the algorithm. You know, Dave works at a company that does his back-end algorithms for forecasting and planning and replenishing. When I started in retail, you would group stores together and say, these are kind of alike. So they're going to get all the, you know, red sweaters. And these stores over here, maybe they're in the warmer weather, because your computer didn't have enough horsepower. So you had to group things together, and people certainly can't do that. But now, every single day, our computer looks at every item in every store and forecasts exactly what it's going to sell for the next 12 weeks, and then rolls all that up to say, how much do we need in the store? Then how much do we need in the warehouse? Then based on that, how much do we need to order? How much do we write a purchase order based on how long it takes to make it, right? So that's going on every single day now in retail. And
it's incredible, Andy.
You know, I think it's exciting, but people get bored real quickly. It's like Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately, right? Like that. What I just said is probably 5 years old, and so people watching this might go, "Yeah, so what? I already have that." Because the pace of it is also more quickly, right? Once you get it, it goes from innovation to expectation very, very quickly.
Yes. You know, what I like to say is that Retail 101, Marketing 101 has not changed for thousands of years, but the tools we have to implement all of that are just phenomenal, just incredible. So, and that really is what technology is. It's a tool to increase efficiency and effectiveness across the boards. So yeah, it's an exciting time, really is. So Dave, I think you've got a couple questions.
Yeah, I'd love to go back, Andy, to talk a little bit about the customer and being able to meet that customer's needs wherever they want to shop. And you kind of touched on inventory. How do you ensure that your inventory is accurate at any given time for that customer wherever they're shopping?
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought it up. It's so important because if someone says, "Oh, I'm going to buy this online and go drive to the store to pick it up," and gas is however much it costs these days, and it's not there, you know, there's so much frustration. We're shipping from store. We call it BOSS, buy online, store ship. So you got to take that inventory, but you want to take that away from the customer that may be walking in later. It's easy to have too much inventory and be in stock, but you know, then you're going to have a problem with your financials. So I have this concept that there's 15 different ways that inventory can go awry. So it starts at the vendor, right? You have to order the right amount. It has to be put in the right box with the right label. It's got to get through your warehouse effectively and accurately. So one simple thing we do at the Vitamin Shop is we weigh every box on the way from the DC to the store. So it goes on a conveyor, and we know precisely how many grams each product weighs. And so if that box was shorted an item, it will kick off and not go on the truck to the store, or if it weighs too much. So that's something that improves accuracy. That's pretty simple. That's built into the warehouse. But if someone miskeyed the weight of the item, you know, it's going to kick out every box. Or if it's two items that weigh the same, but it's the wrong item, that's still going to, you know, miss. So it's not perfect, but it's another safety check. Then our stores receiving what they get. So that's a place they can get inventory. The next thing then is every single movement has to be updated in real time to the computer. Not once a night or once a week, or what used to be once a month. You know, you did your books and said, what are your inventory? So it has to be in real time because we're promising that data on the website to customers. Now, sometimes if you have a fast moving item, you can do a safety stock. You can say, you know what, don't promise it to the customer unless you have at least 2 or 3. That's easy to say, and you can sit in a meeting, but you know, in our business, a lot of our products, we're just carrying 1 or 2 in the store. So you do a safety stock, then you're not going to offer something that's actually sitting right there. Now, say something doesn't go right. Say the product gets broken. Maybe there's a kid in the store and they break it and shove it under the rug. So now the computer needs to have algorithms to go, you know, I think there's something going on here because you should be selling this, but you're not. So you can use analytics to flag the store and go, hey, you should go cycle count this item. If a customer orders an item online and we cancel it because the store says it's not there, that triggers a note to the store manager. Hey, go see what's going on. Don't just let that keep happening. So yeah, I know it's a long answer to a short question, but it's not just about the computer or the process or the people. It's making sure all of them work together.
Absolutely. And we know that order management software is big out there in retail today, and key to having that real-time inventory, as you mentioned. You know, what do you see as some of the most important tech breakthroughs and emerging trends that you're looking at?
So let's stay on order management. So order management was this real simple math of you get an order and every night you look and say, what's the best way to fulfill it? You know, I should ship it from the warehouse or from the store. But now that's migrating to becoming real time. And the reason is when people go on a website, you know, and we're still saying, hey, this will ship in 24 hours and you're going to get it in so many days. But more and more you're seeing promise dates, you know, and we've seen this from Amazon. You're going to get this on Tuesday. And I've even seen like Tuesday before 5 o'clock, right? And so how are they accomplishing that? You have to decide before the item is purchased, where is it, and what method you're going to use to ship it. And it gets even more complicated when there's multiple things in the box, because we don't want to split shipments because you spend twice as much.
Yeah.
And so computers now, order management is evolving to being able to be fast enough, because it's not just about the algorithms, it's about being fast enough that when you're throwing up a web page with a product or a cart, to actually be able to tell the customer with accuracy that, we can promise this for you by this time and date. So that's a big, big innovation. We talked already a lot about all the stuff around analytics, and I never want to ever do anything without saying analytics, because that drives all of that. I think if we want to look at the really cool stuff, like in our one of our warehouses, we have robots, and we did a study and found that our warehouse health enthusiasts were walking between 4 and 6 miles a day processing orders.
Wow.
Now that's actually great for their health, but
Yeah.
not great for the bottom line. And so now we have robots that do the walking, so we can stage people in sections, and then the robot will drive up and go, I need 3 of these. You put it in, you scan it. It actually also helps with accuracy back to the inventory, because there's a picture of the item. You have to scan it onto it's an iPad on the front of the robot and put it in the box. So that's some tech. Some tech I'm keeping an eye on is what's called a digital twin. And digital twin is the ability to replicate your business virtually. So I just keep thinking back to like a game, like a Sim City, where you could build a city and see what happens.
Yeah.
Imagine you could build out your supply chain or your store network. Say, what happens if I built another warehouse? Or what if I put a third shift? And we don't have anything like that, but I'm real excited about this tech, because making changes, as we talked about, are costly, but if you could do them virtually, it's just like how they design airplanes now, right? They used to draw an airplane, stick it in the sky and see what happened, and it's very dangerous and expensive.
Yes.
Now they model in a computer and it knows everything that's going on until they get this shape exactly right. That's the future in retail as well.
Yeah. My dad was one of those mechanical engineers for Boeing and McDonnell Douglas, drawing those pictures before
Wow.
CAD came along. So get what you mean there. All right. So a couple more things from me. So what keeps you up at night?
Yeah, as the world gets more and more sophisticated and cloud and everyone's remote, we just got to go back to cybersecurity. And a lot of that's about education and about designing things with security built in from the beginning. So keeping our customers' data secure, our employees' data secure, that's got to be a foundation of everything we do in tech, and it's got to be built in and part of your culture. So I think that's really important. You guys may joke about competition, but there's a lot of formidable competition out there, and I really respect them. And at the Vitamin Shop, we look at our competitors with great respect and appreciation. But consumers have a lot of choices. You can be pushing your cart down the aisle at a grocery store and there's vitamins and supplements there, or even at the big box. Some of the things that you could only get at our store before, now, because they're so popular, have moved out. So, paying attention to our consumers and making sure we're offering the best product and price and service and experience to our employees is really key and top of mind every day.
Absolutely. All right. So last thing. So as we mentioned at the beginning, you're an author yourself. Fostering Innovation, How to Build an Amazing IT Team was your book. What books are you reading today?
Yeah, hey, thanks for mentioning my book, Dave.
Good question.
We all are going through training, our executive team, and we're reading a book called Competing with Luck by Clayton Christensen. It's a little bit older book from 2016, but it's really about understanding your customer and not just saying you want to get lucky and get the right product or the right service, but really understanding it. So that's been a really insightful book for me. And then I always read a fiction book at the same time. So yeah, I'm reading. Got to have some fun, it can't just be all business.
Great. Well, Andy, really enjoyed the time today. Thanks for joining us. Robin, back to you.
Well, thank you, David. And Andy, it's been a great learning experience for me, because my wheelhouse is kind of in the, mainstream retail group. But, as we said early on, the principles of retailing, pretty much the same across all the boards. But thank you. We're honored to have you on. And I'm honored to have been a part of it.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a great holiday.
You too.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.